be with you. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. Let's go to
Everywhere they go. Just in case that was just leaving your mind on a Sunday morning. Hello again, friends. And you are my friends. And that was the Talking Town crew after yesterday's win at home to Fleetwood. Obviously, Norwich got thrashed, demolished 7-0. It's been a great weekend. If Carlsberg did weekends, Dino Mick has even gone as well. I mean, it's been a great couple of days. I'm looking forward to hearing what the hard truth boys are going to say. I, for once, actually do not have anything to moan about. And I'm desperately trying to find something, because those that know me know that I love a good nag and a whinge. But I can't find anything. Maybe the coffee's not so great this morning. I don't know. I'm really struggling. But we've won 2-1 into the top 10. Hey, I like it. I like it. But we have got a couple of tough games coming up. Are we contenders or are we pretenders? That is what I'll be asking you, the live chat, and the two hard truth boys in a little bit. Of course, you can come on the show yourself, have your say. There'll be a link incoming very shortly for the thousands that watch us on catch up. And it is, we had 12,000. That's ridiculous, mate. 1,200 of you watched last week's show. So many of you were watching on catch up. Hello. Do not forget to hit subscribe, share to your friends, and leave a comment. Colin Plum, who you saw in that wonderful video. Thank you, everyone, for your lovely words and support yesterday. It was emotional for myself. Dad sucked that winner in for us yesterday. Dad, RIP, the GOAT. Absolutely. A GOAT comes from a GOAT. And Eric was, by the sounds of it, one of the absolute best. Hello, Tractor Boy Botswana. Welcome in. You'll love today's show, because Tractor Boy Botswana is known for his positivity. So he's going to really enjoy today's show, because there's not going to be much, if any, negativity floating around. I would think even the fisherman, if he pops himself up for air, surely must have nothing to be negative about. Tractor Boy Botswana, keep pinching myself. Colin, it feels like 1973, and Bobby took us to 4th. Okay, that is a great line to bring in one of the hard truth boys. Let's bring in the guy who's eating my favourite biscuit, a bourbon. It's the And you brought the hard truth to Christopher Sutton yesterday on Radio 5 Live. We have that coming up a bit shortly.
I'll just quickly finish my biscuit there.
I bet you did. I know. I saw you pop one in and I thought, right, get him on.
Before I start, look, massive shout out to Colin yesterday.
Absolutely.
He gave me a massive hug at the end of the game, and he was really emotional, and it made me emotional, and it made me think. There we are. Look, yesterday after the game,
what's a motley crew
like that, Martin, that we all love the game and we go to football, we travel up and down the country. You know, about 5 minutes earlier, we'd have all come out that ground really down-eyed, wouldn't we, if it finished 1-1. But you could feel that buzz and the chatter as we walk in behind the back of the North Stand, and it was fantastic. And hopefully, there's many more days like that to come.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And obviously, as infamous Griggy G says, looked a bit flat first half. Good win, though. Massive 3 points coming out. That's Ben Jackson to apologise. And he says, my old boss was caught on match of the day, glum. It was only 3-0 at this point, too, and a big smiley face. Jerry Maguire, Crunchy, still cook out. Well, Crunchy never was cook out. Cruncher, whatever it was. But let's save that until his teammate comes in, because I reckon they've got a couple of things they want to say. They've been egging it on all week.
Ben Moore is now cook in.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, let's pump the brake a little bit.
Anyway,
you know.
and got a little bit of a bone to pick here. Simpson Spiders yesterday. He is a monthly subscriber. He doesn't see his name on that list, and he said if you don't, he's going to get a tarantula around.
Oh wow! I can do with the he gets free bloody advertising as it is. You know, popping up in every single video at the ground. Simpson Spiders. Literally, you can't have a fart.
You going to tell him? Are you going to tell him not to?
No, certainly not. You can do it.
There you go.
Big Dave's got the keys to the car, so he runs the place. At Roadman 39 afternoon, Governor Rich. Let's show the league we mean business by beating the top two. Absolutely. Contenders or pretenders? That's the question. I'll ask both of these a little bit later on. Tractor Boy, you podcasters at TTF made my season, even my life. Tractor Boy. That is big words. Thank you. Not quite short to say to that. So I'll get a man that's never short of a thing to say. Shortened intro. So be ready, Matthew. It's the Mogul. I thought of, where is he? I brought him in. There he is. I thought of you yesterday. I thought of you. I'm going to be honest. When they equalised, I thought, oh no, poor Matthew. He won't be able to go on one of his famous little rants.
I was waiting for the WhatsApp group. There was a message on there, Matt, and it got deleted, so I didn't have to read what it said. I don't know what he put.
No, that was earlier in the year. That was earlier in the game when it wasn't offside.
Everyone know, Martin will make comments in our WhatsApp group and then delete them.
Yes.
But sometimes, Matt, we read them and we know what he said.
Yes, well, those are the high classified ones, the ones that nobody should know or see or hear. You know, if you know what I mean. But Nick Muller, relegation party incoming. Tractor Boy, there's only one Matt Phillips.
Oh, thank you.
Tractor Boy, what's one? And the heat over there has got to you a little bit, I think. He absolutely is. Let's kick things off with the most important thing. No, not the most important thing. That's probably incorrect to say. One of the most important things. This picture and what it means to the football club. What it meant to the ground, the stadium, the fans for today, yesterday, and tomorrow. Because obviously this is a fantastic picture, courtesy of ITFC. Brett Johnson, there he is.
Yeah.
One of us. He might
Fabio
be
Wardley. Fabio Wardley next to him.
Fabio.
Tash in the background.
Peter Reed's just realised his hacker has gone wrong.
His hacker's just gone out the fucking window. Shit. 1-1.
You know, we then had other owners sort of tweet saying how pleased they were for him to do this, to have that, blah, blah, blah. And I said in a reply to one of the owners, I think it was Mark Steed, that picture there is the most amount of passion we've seen from an owner in decades. And it's certainly more than any of the previous unmentionable. Like that, that's one of us. Just talk through what you feel and think when you see that picture, Matt.
Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. It was sort of like Sheepshanks-esque, wasn't it? When he used to punch the air. And I always remember when we got promoted at Wembley and he was like, look at these fans. I was just, it was great. I mean, you have to go back a long way to see that passion from the director's box. So It was brilliant. And you're right. When that equaliser went, I was thinking it was all set up for Brett to see the win here and a back-to-back win and, the 7 points in a week. And I just thought it was going to fall away. So, but I mean, as I said to Colin yesterday, you couldn't have scripted it, could you? On his dad's would be his dad's 95th birthday. Brett Johnson's flown in as a surprise to everybody. We scored with basically the last kick of the game. It was brilliant. But as you were saying, Rich, it's such fine margins, isn't it? We could easily have come out of that ground with another draw. Everyone would have felt flat. But that is football. That's the emotional roller coaster on. We've said peaks and troughs. It's highs and lows. And yesterday we finished on the high. So fair play,
I like Mark Ashton's hat.
Yeah.
Well, he probably watched the press conference show where we kind of said bed hair. So he wanted to double check, just to get a hat on that. So you can't.
I do have a hat like that for the winter months.
I bet you do. I can see you in one of those. Yeah, Jem. There's a multi-sport accumulator, the calling card of the mug punter. Robert Burnett. Johnson has shown more passion in 90 minutes than Evans did in 15 years. And it was so good having Big Bad Robert on the show last night. Really good to see him back on the show. I'll put the link in the chat now. But Rich, let's go to the game. I said during the game, I think this is what I deleted in the WhatsApp. I'm not quite sure, but I said when you keep bad teams around, eventually they're going to bite you. And we were always in control, but we were keeping them around. We weren't taking our chances.
I didn't think they were a bad team. I thought it was a really enjoyable game of football. Look, they were time wasting a little bit, probably the last 10 minutes when it equalised, which is fair enough. A point for Fleetwood 433 fans, and a massive shout out to all of them who travel, because that is a long journey. So they would have took a point at 1-1.
Good video as well, Rich. Good
Great
video
video
from
from Nappers. You know, if you haven't seen it, pop on over to his page on YouTube. But I thought they played some really good football. But I do agree with Martin. While it's always 1-0, you know, they're in the game. Then when they score, you think, oh, here we go again. But it was great, the reaction that we showed, because in too many games this season, we've let a goal in, the shoulders have gone down, and it's like, oh, here we go again. But they didn't do that yesterday, and they kept going right to the end. You know, like Cookie said, pre-season, we're going to be fitter, we're going to run more, we'll be stronger. And in the end, it was probably his subs that changed the game. You know, look, Celina, we're probably going to touch on him. I thought he was having an absolute stinker until he scored that goal. And he's probably, Hawks messaged me this morning, he'd text Burson last night, and Burson come back with, I think I've been trying too hard. And I'll probably agree with that, because he's come to the club. He's obviously been here before. He's a fan favourite, and he's probably wanting to impress too much. So hopefully now that goal, you know, it goes in. That was his first goal, guys, for 83 games, which I find amazing, you know. So it's a weight off his shoulders, but wasn't it great when he lobbed the shirt in the crowd, Matt, and then someone threw him a normal shirt back, and then it's like, no, don't want that one. Great, wasn't it? It was like Burton away all over again when he lobbed his shirt in the crowd there, you know. And the noise when they scored that goal, Martin, I just wish you were there, because it was just blew the roof off.
Yeah, well, I've had many moments. It was up there with the Christoph Berra goal against Derby. That's what I thought this morning when I watched it back, Matt. That goal in stoppage time. Was it a case of two town teams a little bit? Because in the first half, we were a little bit flat. We were scrappy. Fleetwood were trying to bring us down to their level, no disrespect. Second half, we changed it up a gear. You know, how did you see sort of the first 60, if you like? You know, how was that for you?
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. And I think, you know, they were organised. And Fleetwood had some good moments in the first half, didn't they? I mean, it was that two banks of 4 or 5 in the back, and then just Morton on his own, wasn't he, up top? So they were obviously, but they did show some, like, I thought they had some good attacking intent. But I felt like the difference that we saw yesterday for Town and in the other games at Cambridge and Portsmouth was we didn't seem to make the right decisions at the right time, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
There was the ball that came in for Bon. I thought that was food and drink for him. I was up for the seat already celebrating, and he went straight to the keeper.
Good scored. Either side, it's a goal. It's a clear header.
Yeah.
It's a free header.
Yeah. But you know, that's a minor thing for McCauley. He's been fantastic so far. But yeah, I just feel like in and around the box, we just didn't have that same decision making, the same, because we were clinical at Portsmouth, weren't we? And I just didn't see that yesterday, which is why that kept Fleetwood in the game. And I remember saying to the guys around me, if you're a Fleetwood fan sitting over there, one of the 133 in your 75th minute, still 1-0, you'd be quite happy with that. You're still in it. You could still take a point home. And then
absolutely. Do you ascertain that, Rich, to maybe a bit of fatigue? Obviously, unchanged lineup from Cookie. I don't know if it's the first time he's named an unchanged lineup, but it was certainly an unchanged lineup from Portsmouth, 4-0. Was it a bit of fatigue creeping in, do you feel? Was it, because obviously Aluko has had a roller coaster of a career.
There was no tempo there first half. It was very slow. And I know you can say like Edwards didn't do a lot in the game, but they didn't get the ball to him quick enough. I thought we made it easy for them, and it was nice to see Cookies. Obviously, it tore them a bit of a new one at half time, and they've come out there, haven't they? And they've gone for the throat. Really, they've got that first goal. We should really be going on and getting 2 or 3, but that's not going to happen every week, you know. And it does show something that we are improving, because it was similar to Cambridge, wasn't it, last week, where we kept Cambridge in the game, then they nicked that goal, and then that was it. I know it was we had more time yesterday, but as soon as that goal went in, and what I liked is, as a supporter, look, we're all supporters. Sometimes you're desperate for a goal, you want them to lump it forward. They didn't do it. They kept playing their football, you know, kept looking for them openings, and look at the goal that they scored. It was a fantastic goal, fantastic ball from Evans.
Oh, it's a hell of a ball.
Donation on the run, first time, and it was a great finish by Burson. And
that was classic football, because I just got a text from George, the designer, and he said Lee Evans never passes forward. And then literally the same second as I was reading it, Lee Evans turns and puts an absolute beautiful ball. Donation then first time cross goal, and he goes, take it back. That's football for you. It was a hell of a ball.
He was our best player yesterday, Martin. I thought Evans was our best player.
Yeah, I did say.
With Morsey, I thought Morsey played really well, especially second half. that for me, that was the real captain's performance. He drove him on,
Yeah.
he was wanting that ball. I thought he was quite lucky because he should have had a yellow in the first half. He'd done a really naughty tackle on, I can't remember who it was, and it went unpunished. And then the ref, he booked him on it must have been his fourth or fifth foul, wasn't it? So he's walking the tightrope because I think he got booked the other night. I think that might be 3 yellows already. He'll pick up a red somewhere along the line this season, because he's that type of player. But we like that type of player, someone who can get their foot in, and he's looking, I know we say he's a defensive midfielder, but for me, he's always looking forward. You look at the ball he played to Chaplin for the first goal. He could have easily knocked it into the box for Bond, but he's gone in, pinged it into Chaplin. Great first touch and a great finish, First time he's left the keeper.
I feel sorry for Chaplin a little bit, Rich, because that was a hell of a finish, and it's got overshadowed by the Celina's last second goal.
I thought it was a deflection, but it was gone through the defender's legs, and it's wrong-footed the goalkeeper. Look, he's nailed down the number 10 position. 5 goals in 7 games.
Oh yeah,
and we're starting to form them partnerships. There's him and Bon. You've got the midfield too.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure about Edmondson and Toto. They've only played 2 times together, so they're still getting to know each other. I know Mick Mills. I was listening this morning to the post-match show yesterday. He's still a little bit umming and ahhing about the goalkeeper. We're probably going to touch on Walton, but it is all coming together.
Got a few questions coming in. First of all, Matt Jordan says, be interested to know what's going through KVY's head with Janoi playing like prime Cafu. Let's touch on Donacien. Obviously got another assist yesterday, got a couple of assists midweek, has been a revelation since he came in. How good or how did you see Janoi's performance yesterday?
Yeah, similar to what he's done previously. He's not really putting a foot wrong, is he? It's great to see. Against his former club as well. He was there on loan, wasn't he, last season?
But where's this come from? Because I don't think any man, woman, child alive would have said in the summer, Janoi will be the first choice right back come November and be one of our better, if not one of our best, and he has been, players in the month of October. Yeah,
I think that's quite probably because the fact Paul Lambert isn't there anymore. Lambert never gave him an opportunity, shipped him out. And now Cookie obviously rates him. It's giving him opportunities. And we're seeing the best of it. It's great to see. It's great to see. We saw it with Toto last season, didn't we? We saw it with Toto last season.
For you, Matt. If the window had still been open and Vincent Young was in poor form, do you think we'd have gone and signed another right back?
Yeah,
yes.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's great to see Janoi come through because we weren't expecting it. But it's sad also for KVY because, I've been a big advocate of his. And I think everyone really liked those 9 appearances we saw in his first season with 2 goals. But maybe the injuries have caught up with him finally. He's not got that fitness. He seemed like he'd lost a yard of pace. And, I hope he can get back in the frame soon because he's a really good player. But, and you don't want Janoi to get into a comfort zone either, do you? I've got number 2 shirts now nailed on for me in that right back spot. You still want that competition to keep people on their toes. The beauty of having our squad, the abundance of options is we will always have that. But I hope KVY can come back soon. Absolutely.
Speaking of which, Callie did the match ratings. He labelled Matt Penny, Rich, as the weak link yesterday. Matt mentions the squad. We've got Hayden Coulson in the wings. KVY can play at left back as well. Great mug, Matthew. Very well done on the merchandise placement. Correct. That's great, man. Shop talkingtown.co.uk. Get your mugs. The coffee
I'm merched up like Rich today.
Absolutely. But Rich, Matt Penny, is he the weak link? Or is he actually like a bit like Donacien? Needs that consistency, needs that run, needs that trust, and there's a player there. How do you see it? Because Callie said weak link.
I thought he's done all right, to be fair. I thought he was all right yesterday. I didn't think he was outstanding. I think what he done quite well. I'll probably 6.5, 7. But I do think Hayden Coulson, he is fit. I do think he'll come back in because I do think he's a better player. I know he's not our player, and Matt Penny is our player, but I just want the best left back. And if it happens to be a lone player, so be it. Penny's done all right. Look, it's great that we've got competition for places all over the field. And that's what we want because it's going to be a long winter. You're going to pick up injuries, and this is where I think we're going to benefit more than other teams. Like Plymouth at the minute. Plymouth are on fire. They're not going to have the biggest squad. And they're not going to have the riches that we've got. So if they pick 2 or 3 injuries up in key places, that's going to affect them. Whereas us, look at the people we hadn't. Look at the people who weren't there yesterday. Scott Fraser come with a lot of fanfare. He's out of the team in a minute. For me, He comes
He's
back
injured,
in.
isn't
If
he?
he's fit, he comes back in on the left-hand side because I don't think anyone has. And I know you want to play him in the 10, Martin. He won't play in the 10 because
Then he doesn't
Chaplin's
play. That's
nailed
what I
that
would say.
position down. So
He's not a winger though. Like
gymnasium player. If you
wing.
listen to Mick Mills, he said Chaplin and Fraser they'd be great in gym. They can do it in them tight little spaces. You know.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe with Morsey hold in the midfield, you can play with a bit more of an attacking left-sided player. Bring him in a little bit. Christian Walton, I suppose, before we move on to other players, I felt for the goal he should have done a lot better. Between him and I think
Not
it was
for me.
Danasian, they both fluffed it right
Hops
up.
hit the nail on the head this morning when he messaged me. That ball in, Martin, it wasn't a floated one, it was a flat one.
Yeah,
it was a flat one in, and it took the defender and the goalkeeper out. And I think if we're questioning the goalkeeper, I think we're being really, really harsh.
Anytime the ball enters the 6-yard box, I would have money on my goalkeeper being the one that claims it. And it entered the 6-yard box. It wasn't a pacey ball. You can punch, you can catch, you can do any manner of things.
Yeah.
I say for me, that's all he's had to do all day, Matt. And I don't think he's commanded that 6-yard box as well as he should do.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. I mean, I think it did catch everyone by surprise because it looked like it was like a shot at first when I was watching it.
Yeah,
it was a good header from Morton. But yeah, I mean, look, Walton is 6'5". He's not my height. Yeah, we expected him to be able to come and take that ball, maybe. But it was a good header. He was a good play. He's a good player, that Morton, on loan from West Brom. He's a good player.
Yeah,
he's a good player. But
Ninja Ronaldo, they call him.
You've got the question marks over Enciala and Walton. Is that fair to say? Question marks over Toto and Walton. That's the only two sort of question marks you've got on that back five at the moment, really?
He's going to play Walton. He's his man, and he signed him.
He is.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think it's a bit of a non. I think it's sort of a non-question, really, because Walton's always going to play. And he did do a good save, I think, when it was 1-0 down at the near post.
From the free kick.
And he's still only played 3 games. He's still learning, he's still learning to play. Like he's brought Toto back in the other night. He's probably never played with him. I know he trains with him every day, but it's a bit different when you're out on that pitch.
Situation, yeah.
But you want to get that. You what?
I don't think Toto's put a foot wrong yet since he's come back in. He's had a couple of little hairy moments, but I mean, you expect that, don't you? But he's done all right. He's done okay.
Okay, all right. Well, we've got Colin coming up in just a second. Before we do, let's have a word from one of our partners. Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single £1.20, a return only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. We've got Roy Clark. I think you have to question Danasian for the goal. He was nowhere near the goal scorer. What do you feel about that one?
Maybe, but it cleared everybody, that ball.
I thought the ball, it was a great ball in, and it split the defender and the goalkeeper. It was in that sort of, I'll call it, you remember Jeffrey Boycott, Matt, used to say, in the corridor. That was where it was. Yes. I thought it was a great ball in. Morton, I thought Morton was really brave and he got the goal. So fair play to Fleetwood.
It was like I say, it was almost like a shot. It was like he really larruped it one and a good header.
It wasn't a free kick in the first place that led to that goal.
Well, that's what led to it, wasn't it? That Evans challenge. The referee was having a good game up until then. That last 10 minutes, he started making some questionable decisions.
Yeah, but the linesman wasn't over that side. He flagged twice offside in the first half that wasn't for us. When Bond went through, that wasn't offside either. And then
the goal was very close.
He wasn't offside.
I didn't think he
was. No way was he offside when the ball was kicked. It's one of those when the linesman turns his head from the ball being kicked, he looks offside, so he just puts his flag up.
Yeah.
If we had VAR at this level, which you don't, obviously, it would have been ruled a goal. I firmly believe that. I do.
Bond was caught offside a lot yesterday, wasn't they? Actually, that was obviously one of their plans, wasn't it? In terms of bringing this Fleetwood red wall, they coped with him quite well, I thought.
Yeah. Well, that's maybe the last couple of weeks actually. Not Portsmouth, but Cambridge and yesterday's Fleetwood. Maybe there's a little bit of a game plan forming on Bond. I don't know.
You'd imagine you've got 10 goals. You'd imagine there'd be something there, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. But in trying to stifle him, you are leaving space now for your Chaplins, etc. And Chaplin's goal yesterday, before we bring Colin in, I felt was very Tommy Miller-esque.
Yeah, it was a great finish. I mean, I saw what one of the guys said in the chat there, Crunch. You could tell he's from a higher tier. That was just like a clinical finish.
It was one touch bang. He took it early. I think that's what caught the goalkeeper out there. He didn't have time to set himself. It was in the corner of the net before he moved.
And that's what we didn't see in the first half when we were talking about decision making. He's literally just turned them. What a great shot. Brilliant goal.
It really reminded me of Tommy Miller. Sort of a ball into feet, turn, and it's in the net before the goalie's even had a chance to
Keep
He
your
didn't
goals.
even look at the goal, did he? That's what you say about a high level player there, Matt.
But it
You
don't
know,
move,
he
does
knows
it?
he knows where the goal is. He doesn't have to look. He's just that touch, bang.
Keeper said,
Isn't it?
I was watching the keeper while we were celebrating. He was going, I couldn't see. So brilliant.
Even if you could see, mate, you weren't going to save it. So
Even
don't
if
worry.
it was 2 times.
You needed 2 keepers. Matt Stannard agreed, Gov. That linesman on that side never was level, and he spent more time looking at the white line to make sure he didn't step onto the pitch. He was awful. JC, agree with Cruncher. Other teams near the top will have injuries and don't have the strength in depth we have. Well, it showed that yesterday. The substitutions just grossly, fantastically embarrassing. It's brilliant. It will tell later in the season. Facebook used that I hope Celina will play against Plymouth instead of Edwards and Roy Clark. Chaplin looks like he's good with both feet. It was an emotional day for this man yesterday. He's wearing a stunning top. The man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT. Colin Blunt. Colin, that's a jumper. I do apologise. How are you, Colin?
Hi, Colin.
Excuse me. Hello, Gov. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, sir.
How's the missus getting on?
She's all right. She's back moaning. So I reckon she's doing all right. She came down late last night, so let's put a film on. They spent more time during the film giving it that than she did. So I was like, she's getting better.
I'm pleased to hear that. And send her our best wishes.
I will do, if I can get a word in edgeways.
But right, the first thing I want to say today, and Rich probably would wonder maybe why I didn't ring or message him this morning. The reason I didn't do that, I've got to keep myself controlled here, is because I wanted to speak to him personally. Those couple of minutes I had with him yesterday were lovely. Full stop. Right? We'll leave it at that. Also, I'd just like to, before I go on to anything else, I'd like to make a big shout out to everybody who were involved in the photo. Also, a big shout out to Victoria, and her sister, who I met pre-meeting Rich and Matt in the fan zone.
Colin, can I just say something quickly? Massive shout out to Lyndon Rose for letting us in because it was all locked up.
Yeah, brilliant.
He let us in.
Yeah, fantastic.
Mm.
Yeah, brilliant. 100% with that, Rich. But like I say again, had a lovely half an hour with Victoria and her sister who come down yesterday, and they came over to the plaque and they loved it as much as we did after the game. Well, yeah, I totally agree with Rich. Lyndon, fantastic. Thank you for that. And you deserve a big shout out from Mr. Ashton for that. Fantastic. But yeah, that was a lovely moment, wasn't it, Rich and Matt?
Brilliant. Fantastic.
Lovely.
I like your singing as well, Colin. I liked your singing. Your singing yesterday was great. Do you want us to give us a little rendition? I've got a stat here for you, Colin, that you'll love. You know, Norwich have taken 2 points out of a possible 2 points out of the last 57 possible.
That's unbelievable.
Pathetic.
Norwich get battered everywhere they go.
We had a visit from the police after that chant, didn't we, Colin?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
we were okay.
But,
Did you really?
Yeah. Came over to see us.
We did miss the old guard yesterday.
She said, who's Norwich? That WPC said to you, Colin, who's Norwich? That's what he said.
Yeah.
What happened with the guy in the reversing car? Because I got a message on
it was all over. He was literally all over the place. He did not know what he was doing.
He was doing a Yui, wasn't he? He was doing a Yui, and everyone was giving him a little stick.
Yeah.
Colin,
anyway, going on to the game, Gov. Like I said the other day, you know, and I thoroughly meant it. You know, this squad that we've got here, and we're getting players back from injury now, and the whole thing is starting to click. Mm-hmm. This, like I said the other day, this 5 games, maybe 10 games, even up to 12, 13, 14, 15 games. But, you know, a little bit at a time. And if we can go on like a 5-game unbeaten run, and then after that, go on like, you know, try and emulate it and go on another 5-game unbeaten run. like I said the other day, I personally think by Christmas, or especially into the new year, we could quite easily find ourselves, looking at that top two. I really do. These next, Rich is absolutely right what he said the other day. These next 2 or 3 games are paramount in our season, I believe. Especially the next 2. They're both going to be difficult. We know that. I read this morning, apparently Plymouth, they're looking at a sellout at Home Park on Saturday. I quite well believe it. I don't know how many of our lads are going to be going down. It'll probably be, I don't know, probably 1,200-1,500 of our lot going down. Plymouth are looking at selling out on Saturday. Obviously, it's a massive game for Plymouth. It would have been a big game for them anyway, but being they're top, they're flying, didn't do quite so well yesterday, thank God. So that's brought them down to earth a little bit. But that'll be difficult Saturday. Like I said before, I've been to Plymouth before, and they do support well. They travel well, especially from right away down the southwest. They travel in big numbers. They're very vociferous at home. And it's a kind of game, like Rich said the other night, you don't want to go 1-0 behind the first quarter of an hour. That is an unbelievable time of the game next week, I think. Keep that door shut, that first quarter of an hour, and then grow into the game. I think Ipswich will win Saturday, I really do. I think I'm going for 2-1 on Saturday. But like Rich has said before about the following Tuesday at Wycombe, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Rich is wrong. But I think that'll be very, very difficult on Tuesday night. Not a game that I think Ipswich can't win, or at least get a point. But if we get 4 points right now, if somebody offered me 4 points from those 2 games right now, I'd snap your hand off. I really would, because they're 2 difficult games.
Yeah, right. Well, I was just for those now. I wasn't on mute. I was getting earache, so I was just responding to the earache while the goat was telling us all how we are going to be going into these next 2 away games. It's important to ask. I feel these next 2 games might tell us more about Ipswich Town Football Club than Fleetwood and Shrewsbury at the home games we've won. Portsmouth also in a bit of disarray, but that was a good win. We'll set that aside because this is a contender or pretender type heavyweight clash, Matt. You're into your boxing. You're coming up against Plymouth, who are on this runaway, momentous snowball effect. And then you've got Wycombe, who have come down. We've always found it hard against them. 2 games in our history, both draws. This is contender versus pretender type stuff, do you feel?
Yeah, no, I was thinking that as Colin was talking now. I was thinking that this is going to answer a few questions. Yeah, are Plymouth punching above their level? They've got off to, they've come out of the blocks really quickly. They've got to the top of the table against the odds. Does that then illustrate if Ipswich can go there and get a win? Does that show how far we've been underachieving? Does that then show us that we are contenders to hit into that top 6? And I agree with Colin as well. I do feel like the Wycombe game will probably be the tougher one, but it's going to answer a few questions there. I do feel like we can go there and put on performance. I do feel like Plymouth are punching. And as Rich had said earlier, once you get into these winter months, you go November, December into January, and you start getting those injuries, as we saw with Town last season. Then you have to start bringing in reserve players, whereupon Town still have an abundance of options. It's going to say a lot. But it was 2-1 there last season, wasn't it? I think didn't they go down? They went 1 up, Colin, and then there was the sending off. The guy got the 2 yellows. Yeah.
To be honest, Matt, over the years we've had a good. Obviously it's been a quite a long period where we didn't play at Home Park. But if you look back over the years, we've got a decent record at Home Park. We don't get beat there very often over the years. But like I say, there was a period where we didn't play there for a long time. But we've got a decent record there. Do I think we can win? Oh, yeah, I do. I think maybe Plymouth might play into our hands because they play an expansive game, a bit like Fleetwood. And I think it's a lovely surface there now. I mean, forget about the water the other night. But, we all know what the Southwest is like. It's a beautiful area, beautiful growing area. It's a lovely, beautiful surface there. I think that'll help Ipswich. I think I've been there for a lot of years. I don't know if it's a really wide pitch. I hope it is like Pompey, that's a wide pitch. I'll help us again. I think being as they play an open game, they might play into our hands. It might be a game where if we open them up early on, we could do a Portsmouth on them because we've got the tools. We've got the tools to beat that lot.
Yeah.
I think maybe, like I said before, I hate to keep repeating myself. I think Wickham could be a stiffer test. I hope we do Wickham because, like a lot of people have put in the chat, I ain't really got a lot of love for Wickham Football Club, to be honest. You know, I'd love to see us do them. But I'll tell you what, going back to yesterday's game, excuse me, I must admit, I agree with Rich and Matt. I'll tell you what, I said it as soon as I come out of the ground. I thought Fleetwood played well yesterday. I was very, very impressed with them at times. I like their centre half. He's got a growing reputation, the centre half. Can't remember his name. They do well, Fleetwood, you know, for the little resources they've got. You know, they bring players through and they do well on you know, a very low budget. They do very well indeed. Just a question to Rich. What will you be happy with? I think I know the answer, Rich, but what will you be happy with over the next 2 games? About both away from home.
Look, Plymouth are a decent side, but I don't think we should go there fearing them, really. You know,
No.
We were on fire the last 2 seasons, weren't we, at the start? Look what we were doing the first 13 games of the season before last. What was it, 27 points, Matt? And we were doing well. First goal, I do agree with Colin. Yeah, exactly. First goal, I think, is key Saturday. If we could go down there, stick an early one into them, I think we'll score. You know, I think we haven't. We scored in every game so far, haven't we? I would take, like you, Colin, 4 points now.
Yeah.
If you handed it to me. 2 draws, not really. I know Jason Clayton saying their 2 points is not a disaster, but we really need to win, make a statement, you know.
Especially them being top 6.
I'll tell you what, Rich. I'll tell you what, Rich, what Ian said this morning, I must admit I agree with him. He would take 1 win out of the 2 games. In other words, you get 3 points.
Yeah.
I think that's thought and sense, to be honest. I mean, I obviously prefer 3 points and be unbeaten in both. But I think if you, rather than obviously draw both, if you used to win at Plymouth and lose at Wickham, I think we just about take that.
Do you think we've got to get
I'd like to roll Wickham over, Martin. I'd like to roll Wickham over because we know what we're going to get down there. They're not the most attractive football team. And if we could go down there and get a win, I think that'd a shot in the arm to a lot of our supporters and say, listen, we can beat these sort of teams because we know sometimes what we like. We are a bit soft at these places, aren't we?
Well, not with Sam Morty in the side now, I don't think. But I just think maybe, you know, due to slip-ups at home to Morecambe and co.
Sam Morty, you did great 2-3 games ago.
Well, he can kick people. That's what he can certainly do. And you've grossly over-exaggerated the words "didn't rate." I said he was one-dimensional, and I'm yet to be proved otherwise in the sense of a Lee Evans type pass. He is very much a 5-yard the way he's facing.
What he does, though, and we were chatting about this at half-time yesterday, what he does, and you pretty agree with this, Colin, is that he finds a blue shirt and sticks a foot in. It's not rocket science, is it? And, you know, he very rarely gives the ball away. He's there to kind of mop up. His passing's always pretty pinpoint. Yeah. This makes him look a good player. That's what it all starts with him, doesn't it?
I'll tell you what, Matt, what one of the people, I can't remember who it was, somebody asked me on the chat earlier on about what is my opinion about, does Connor Chaplin remind me a little bit of Eric Gates? And actually, I did say yes. I'd like to broaden on that. Obviously, to say Connor Chaplin as Eric Gates, I think it's a little bit unfair on Connor Chaplin because Connor Chaplin will never be as good as Eric Gates because Eric Gates was quality. Quality top-flight player. Will Connor Chaplin ever be a top-flight player? Quality top-flight player? Yeah, might be one day. You never know. But, you know, no, as regards, like, I understand what he says about, like Gates used to play just behind the front to pick up a lot of balls, like 18, 20 yards out off the back of like Mariner or Allen, and he'd whack it in from 25, 30 yards, you know, Gatesy. Connor Chaplin's a similar player. I agree with that. A similar player, scores very good goals. He's wholehearted. Eric was like that, wholehearted, and never say die. So yeah, there's a lot of Gatesy in him, and I'll tell you what Gatesy had. Although he's about 5 foot blooming 6 or whatever he was, he had the heart of a lion. And I'll tell you what, he never gave up, Gatesy. And I'll tell you what, he put his foot in as well. I'll tell you what, he's a little lad like Connor. But I'll tell you what, Gatesy would put his foot in with like somebody like Larry Lloyd. He'd put his foot in and he would not be scared to do it. And Connor is a bit like that, to be fair. And I've got to say, big shout out to Chaplin, because, that number 10 shirt, like Richard said, no end of times. I mean, that had been up for grabs for, several of the kind of players, to play in there. But he's been given that little role, and he's took it by the scruff of the neck. And good luck to him. And I'll tell you what, his reaction to not only his goals, but other people's goals, that's what we want to see, Rich, isn't it? He loves it. He absolutely loves it. And I love that of any player, don't you, Rich?
Enthusiasm. He's got enthusiasm in bundles, isn't he?
Brilliant.
For me.
I was going to say that to you guys. He could well be a vice captain for me in terms of how the relationship he's got with supporters. The fist bump he was doing for the goals. Really good to see.
I'll tell you what, Matt. Richard, remember there was a lovely thing that happened at Pompey the other night when Chappers was took off. He was took off on the halfway line on their main stand side, and he walked all the way down. And he was shaking. That was brilliant to see. He was shaking. He's well liked at Pompey. He never had a boo all night. He shook every hand till he got to the corner flag, where our lot was. As soon as he got round the corner flag to our lot, he kissed the badge, and was given it to our lot. Now that was total quality. No, I don't think that's been highlighted. Yeah. That was total quality.
Colin was down the front, Matt. Colin was down the front shouting at him. Connor!
I love you. Right, Colin, thank you for popping on. A real pleasure to talk football with you. We look after yourself. Hopefully speak to you again soon.
Thanks,
a real
Colin.
pleasure. What a day for him yesterday. What a day for him. We've got a couple of comments. We've got Tractor Boy Botswana. I went onto the Budgie podcast yesterday. It's so amateurish. No characters, no colour, very bland. Poor little Budgies. Collective pat on the back, Team TT.
But then again, if we got whacked 7-0, I don't think we'd be smiling, would we? And laughing.
We wouldn't. Owen, if I remember right, the next 9 games include 7 are against current top 6. Get 5 wins from that. We're right up there. Duncan, hello again. I think we should go with a strong, positive attitude to Plymouth and Wickham and be strong in defence to support each other all over the pitch. Is it important, Rich, we get at least 1 win out of these next 2? Because Lambert was continuously criticised for not beating top 6 sides. So to be a contender, you have to go toe-to-toe and beat them from time to time. You've got 2 here. Is a 50% win rate the minimum we've got to expect?
I would be. I'll put my neck on the line here. I would be very surprised if Plymouth are still up there at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all right. 13. It's all right. 13, 14 games in. This is a long season.
Yeah.
I think we can go down there Saturday and win. I really do. I think we can. They didn't play well yesterday. Apparently, Hawks was because Hawks was going down Saturday. He was talking to a Plymouth fan, said they didn't play very well. Not got the biggest squad.
£10, Duncan Farrow. Thank you very much, Duncan. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Big shout out to Duncan with his picture of his shirt. The shirt with Talking Town on the back.
Very humbled by that. I was
brilliant.
I was like, wow, that blew me
I
away.
was earlier, Matt, we've took 17 points from the last 8 games. And if we can replicate this going forward, this is what we need to do to climb up the league, don't we? We need to win. We've won 2 on the trot now. Now we need to go to Plymouth Saturday and let's get another win. We know we're not going to win every single week. What we can't really afford is to have that bad run where we lose 2 or 3 games on the trot. And I don't think we'll do that now. I honestly don't. I think we're coming together now.
You're right. We can't afford the bad run against the teams that are in the top 6. Otherwise, we're never going to break in there. And it's quite interesting when people always say, Fleetwood come to Ipswich. It's their cup final and they're up for it. Well, we need to start treating the games against the top 6 as our cup finals too. We can do that too. So we'll go down to Plymouth next week and treat that as a cup final. Then Wickham. And let's really show that attempt because, Wickham and Plymouth haven't got a £3 million player like Celina in their squad. It's probably ain't even worth £3 million. You know.
No, that's very true. A quick word: ITFC Fantasy Pack $14.99 at awaydaybeers.com.
Nice.
Obviously, Goat was mentioning a few legends there when he was on, but we've got got the Beat, Brazil, Hoppy Robson. I enjoyed that one last night. That was rather nice. Brandon Carter, £5.
Wow.
Good you boys, Simon Matetti from yesterday.
Yeah.
Karen, what you're doing on here. Thank you very much, Brandon. I thought he was phenomenal. It really, much better than any sort of midfielder we've got currently in the wings for breaking up play. I thought it was really good. Really good. But awaydaybeers.com, they are obviously big Ipswich Town fans. Josh, great beers. Somebody who had a beer or 5 or 10 from awaydaybeers.com last night must have been this man there, because he got brave, ladies and gentlemen, and he popped himself onto 606. Are you ready to hear the cruncher on 606?
To Richard, who's an Ipswich fan. Ipswich
Can you hear it?
1-2-1 today. Richard, you were at the game. Now, am I right in thinking that it was Bersant Celina in the last minute? And I say that because he's the former Manchester City Academy player that's won the game for you today.
Yeah, Burson. Evening, guys, by the way. Burson come off the bench. He was having an absolute stinker. He come on for about the last 20 minutes, and he was really poor. And then he scored the 93rd minute. He was a hero, threw his shirt in the crowd. We're up to 10th, one defeating 9 for Paul Cook. What a great day, Chris. Ipswich win. We've got a song for you. I never felt more like singing a blues when Ipswich win. And Norwich win. Ipswich. Great day, eh?
Yeah, no, but I'm just trying to find which division are you actually in.
off.
Don't worry, we'll play you next year because you're definitely going down, and I think you're going to struggle to beat Robbie's Derby. 11 points,
Oh, wow. Do you think so? Is it that desperate? On a serious note, Richard, Paul Cook. So what did you make of his appointment and the job he did last season? Because I think he talked about when he went in about getting the club up automatically last season. That didn't happen. This season, it has been a slow start, but are you feeling better about yourself now?
See, I'm on a pod called Talking Town. Shout out to the boys.
Here he comes.
I'm a big Paul Cook fan. Along with a guy called Matt on there. When he came in, he said he gets out of the division. And last season, it was a failure. But then there was players that he wanted to train twice a day. Chris, they couldn't do that. And he was quite critical of the players. So some of them down tools. And we've had a massive overhaul. We've had 19 new players through the door, and football, Chris. It doesn't all work.
Go that far.
Just all of a sudden, it's a long season. But today, football is such a game of fine margins. I thought,
and then he goes into his fine margin speech. That's the cruncher on 606 after a few Wayday beers.
Rob Burnett says, "Dear cruncher, terrible singing. We'd love to hear that in an Aussie voice. Come on."
Wish we would. Yes. Yeah.
I like Chris Sutton's accent. It sounds like he should be on Gardening World or something. Let me sort out these croissants.
Yeah. As you go into your little speech there about margins, his replies are so sort of nonchalant. I'm not really listening. Like me last night with the wife.
You don't like him,
I'm
do
not
you?
listening. Fuck off, son. I don't like him. I prefer when Savage is on. At least you can sort of take the piss out of Robbie Savage and have a laugh. But there you go. Cruncher on 606. Matt, you got a little mention. Friend. What did you make of it?
I'm jealous now. Come on.
I ain't jealous at all, mate. But, what did you make of Cruncher's little singing effort there?
It was good. I mean, that's not the first time you phoned in and spoken to him, is it? Crunch?
No, I've been on before.
A few times before. No, it's good. It's good to remind. I feel like the tables are turning a little bit. We think back to yesterday, that the atmosphere in the stadium, the 94th minute winner, Brett Johnson representing the American ownership, the new American owners celebrating. Meanwhile, Norwich are getting slapped 7-0. They've taken 2 points in 57. They want Farker out. Dealer's looking sad in the Stamford Bridge director's box. Football does turn eventually, doesn't it? And I feel like the tables are turning now. There's a good chance we're going to meet them next season. They'll be gutted to hear that. But I feel like it could happen.
Yeah. Do you think that what is going? It's an Ipswich Town podcast. What is going on up the A140? Because they went up to the Premier League this year. They've sold their best player, waved the white flag before a game's even been kicked. Brentford are giving it a go. You've got other teams giving it a go. Leeds obviously did. Even the Blades did a couple of years ago. Like teams have gone up and given it a go. Norwich, Jamie O'Hara obviously made big time news when he said it's worthless, pointless. Are they making a case to shorten the Premier League? Like what's going on up the A140?
They'll probably come down and they'll be up there next season in the Championship, won't they? Because that's what they do. But if I'm a supporter, football's all about, you want a bit of hope and having a go. And you go into Stamford Bridge yesterday and they only took 1,500. You know you're going to get hard. Look, you know you're probably going to lose them type of games. It's when you play your Watfords at home and you're losing 3-1 to them. Well, you scored a goal there. Well done, boys, because you ain't scored many, have you? They are going to struggle to get that 11 points, I think, Matt, that Derby got, because they are pathetic. But I think Martin said it the other week, you know, when you've got people like, he's been a good professional, Grant Hanley, playing in the Premier League. Yeah. Even Pookie's been a really good signing for them on a free. He's not the quality that you need. And when they're selling their best players like Buendia, who are they replacing him with?
I don't think that American kid looks that good either, was it? Sargent?
Just Sargent, no.
Yeah, he don't look that good either. Yeah, I mean, they're relying on Pookie to do what he's done previous seasons, but I always feel like that was probably a flash in the pan, quite frankly.
He's probably going to go, any Farker. He's probably going to go.
So who would take over? Will Steve Bruce be in the running? I know he said he might retire, but he's never
Mick McCarthy.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine it? I tell you what, though, the fans last night, the Norwich fans, I won't call them the S word, the Norwich fans, they were asking for refunds, which is always a contentious point between fans. There you go.
You agree with that?
I did, because I watched Match of the Day highlights while doing an FM stream, and I was really, really feeling sorry for the Norwich fans, because their team didn't show up yesterday. They didn't put an effort in. There was no heart, no desire, no soul. What? Like they turned up expecting to get rolled, got rolled. I felt sorry for the Norwich fans. I did.
That was a Chelsea without Lukaku or Werner.
Exactly. But you look at all the goals, and you could feel, or I felt, just that little bit more desire to get to the ball. Tim Krul's had a mare. I don't know. Where are you on the whole refund issue? 6 goals away in London. No? Neither. No, not 6 goals, 7 goals. I do apologise. Obviously, I missed the goal off.
You go to football, you're paying that money. There is a chance that your team could get slapped. I'm not wanting any refunds. I'm sorry, no. I remember going to Burnley on a Tuesday night under Paul Gill. You know, I think that was Jimmy Bullard's last game. We absolutely stunk the place out. It snowed. We lost 4-0. I got home about 3 a.m. and went to work the next day. Did I want a refund? No. You know, it's what you do as supporters. You shouldn't be expecting money back.
I saw a ship 7 at Chelsea in the FA Cup.
No, I went to that, and then 3 or 4 days later we beat Arsenal. That was great, wasn't it?
I was in the media section. And they had a bar in the press bit. I went down there because everyone was being professional, weren't they? I just went out to the back and said, "Double brandy, please."
I would want a refund based on the effort alone. Like I don't mind getting spanked, but if you're getting spanked while you can see your team are working hard to try and not get spanked, that sits better. Like that sits better with me. When you turn up,
no refunds. It's a bit snowflakey, that, isn't it? I didn't enjoy it, and you didn't put enough effort in giving my money back. It's not how the world works.
Well, Richie,
did Norwich fans really expect to win at Chelsea? We scored more goals in the second half Tuesday night than they've scored since May. What were they expecting?
Wow, what a stat that is. You've saved that one for the back end of the pod. That's a great little one. Emerson, you get what you put in, and Norwich put in nothing. Jogging back, not even, exactly what I'm saying. Like, as a fan, I'd put more effort climbing the fucking stairs to my seat than some of those players did.
How many games is that? Is that 7 or 8 games into the season?
8, I think, isn't it?
That's worrying, isn't it? That is fucking worrying. If you're going through the motions after 8 games and we're only into October, oh dear, boys, you've got a very, very...
That was their 9th game. That was their 9th game. They're already on minus 21 goal difference.
Wow. Next game is... Who's their next game?
I think they've got Leeds at home.
Yes. Yeah. That's the sort of game they'll probably turn up and win, you know, because Leeds aren't in any fit shakes. And then Brentford. So, big 2 games coming up for them. Let's be honest. Match with me. It's hard to measure, though. It really is. Ben Moore. If Norwich bought Premier League players, not Championship players, foreign players who have no experience, I think he's going to say that they'd be all right. But they're not. Anyway, there's no goats this week, so you both must be deliriously happy. No Mogul sent through, so Matt must have been so happy he's taking his foot off the ball. Is there anything at all you would like to add before we sort of, turn the lights off? Oh, we've got a prediction league, a bonus one, because obviously in 6 days' time we will announce a winner of FM 2022. The bonus prediction league this week is on a Tuesday, so you get them in very quickly. You have got 3 games to predict: Colchester versus Sutton, Doncaster versus Cambridge, and Long Melford. Matt's friend Jamie Bradbury in charge of Long Melford versus Brantham.
They lost in the bars yesterday at Milford.
Did they?
They lost 3-1 at Riseborough, is it? In Buckinghamshire? I think that's
Could
it.
well be. But obviously,
something
you're
like
big friends with the manager there, so I thought
Yeah,
I'd
Jamie,
choose them
yeah,
just
shout
for
out
that. Prediction League table. There was some movement. Ben Moore, particularly, look at him. He is on the verge of breaking into the gold.
I tell you who did move yesterday, guys, in the fantasy league, Matt.
Who?
I've gone above you. I'm up to 75th in the league. Phil Foden got me 36 points.
I can't quite see that far down.
36.
Currently,
Long season.
Yes. Currently, the top 10 is as far as George on 12. We need to break into
I'm in
top
there.
10.
How many Matt got? Is Matt off the big fat zero?
Well,
I must be off the mark now, surely. I must be.
No, you're not. Sorry, Matt. I have changed your name, but no, sorry.
Let me just get this right. You have to get the score correct. Is that all? Is that it?
That's it. Like yesterday, you could have put 2-1 home win, like many people did.
I put 3-0.
And you get 3 points. That's very easy. Link is in the chat.
Did you see Matt's friend, Mr. Chambers? Have you watched the highlights of the Cole Port Vale game? Oh, my Lord.
They lost 3-0, didn't they? What happened?
He had an absolute stinker for 2 of the goals. He gave the ball away.
Did he? Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Oh, my heart breaks. Never mind, eh? Dog shit when he was here anyway. Colin says, what do you think of Paul Cook now, please, Gov? I think I need to be looking into buying some Mr. Tumble outfits for the summer.
Where is the fisherman?
Well, he's not come up for air, is he? Because he's on tomorrow's show. He's on the extra time show, so he can't run and hide forever. He's got to face music. I'm still where I was.
What did he send in yesterday? Because I watched the show back this morning. It was a really positive message he sent in, wasn't it?
It was. I can't remember what he said, but yeah, it was. Basically, that's the win we needed. Champions are built off that, and I agree with that. It was a bit of a backbone, finally shown by the team.
They were the results you said yesterday, Rich, weren't you, when we were chatting? When we talked about Norwich, they were the kind of results Farker was able to put together, weren't it? These last minute 2-1s, 1-0s, 3-2s.
Quite interesting. Gary Roberts done the press, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah. That's the first time someone else has done it since Cook said, I might mix it up a little bit. I mean,
he was on the lash. He was on the lash with Brett and Mark Ashton.
Through the bad results we've had and, people questioning him, at least he's always come out and faced the media.
He has. Well, not always, but yes, he has. Some of his, I would like Paul Cook if he gets it right, because I think he's, as I said before, quite a likable fellow. But some of his tactical switches or lack of have been questionable. And where I was Wednesday, to answer Colin's question, willing to give it time, particularly now, obviously, he's turned the corner. Happy to buy a clown's costume to wear in the summer if I'm completely wrong. I will definitely do that, man of my word. But I feel November, and particularly the next two, are pivotal, really. Are we contenders?
Yeah.
Are we pretenders?
Yeah.
Because you can beat Fleetwood and Shrewsbury. You didn't hold on to Cambridge. That's so close to a perfect week. So close.
What we need to do is
Cambridge 4-1. Shrewsbury done Cambridge 4-1 yesterday, wasn't it?
They did.
Ryan Bowman got a hat-trick, the guy who had the heart problem at Town.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Ben Moore. Norwood was at Eastbourne Town yesterday.
Wow.
What I don't want is if we lose next Saturday to everyone to have a meltdown, Matt.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Well, pump the brakes. You can't be riding high, calling out Cookie and anti-Cookie sports, and then say if we lose against a top side, don't want a meltdown. Like this side built on the budget should be able to beat Fleetwood and Shrewsbury. We're not talking about top 10 teams here, are we? Like,
no,
that's not the measuring stick.
It's also the nature. If you do lose, it's the nature of defeat. If you lose 1-0 to an own goal or penalty, you could say that's unlucky. But yeah, if we get
bombed.
If we get Bolton, which was a still terrible result. I was thinking of the highs and lows, the highs of yesterday and the lows of that game. It wasn't even that long ago, was it? It was only a month ago.
If you lose like you did at Burton, that's fine by me because you put everything into it. You gave it you all. You missed a penalty. You were unlucky. You lost. That's football. Yeah. That's the fine margin you're talking about earlier in the show with Christy Sutton. But if we don't turn up next week with the budget and the depth and the players like Cambridge, that's disappointing. That's going to stick with me for a while because you should have seen that game out. You can't be saying Accrington Stanley non-league and then not be seeing Cambridge out.
But then yesterday, look, we lost 2 points at Cambridge. We probably gained them 2 points in that last minute yesterday. That's how
you're talking about Fleetwood at home. That's not the way to look at 2 points being gained. That's a win you should always have marked on your card every single year.
I do get that. But another minute and we're all going out the ground with our heads down.
Oh, another minute, and I was looking forward to seeing you two. I was going to drive down the Port Road myself. I was buzzing for what you two might come back with.
Keep it dry.
Look, we've got another 32 games to go. We are going to lose some matches. Just so everybody does know.
We are.
We're going to go undefeated in that spell. So, but it's the nature of what
Stephen Parry did say the other night we could go unbeaten till the end of the season, Matt.
He did.
Well, you do look at teams like, everyone always says Blackpool last season. I think they lost, 2 of 22 in the back end of the season. There's no reason why we couldn't maybe go on that kind of run, hopefully. But there's going to be losses in there, absolutely.
Absolutely. Sarah Davis, Paul Cook was ecstatic yesterday, running up and down when the winning goal went in. It meant so much to him. Ben Moore cooking. The man of Ben is like he just goes like this, doesn't he?
He's a changed man now. Yeah.
The man, you watch us lose twice next week and he'll be cook out again. The man, the performances have improved. We looked like a team yesterday. We fought for everything and won a lot of second balls. Bond still looks isolated.
Did you see when Cookie tried up the left wing to knock that ball back in, Matt?
Maybe that's in front of you, wasn't it?
Yeah, he just come strolling up there. No one was getting the ball. Where are the ball boys? What are they doing? Oh, we need a goal here.
Final word, Matt Stan, I don't mind losing, but we'll be livid if I see us 2-0 up at half time, just not turn up second half. That's what annoys me.
That is annoying.
I'll give a big shout out mine yesterday. So, second half, this lad sitting in front of us on the front row, he's only about 11. He got a ball right in his face.
Oh.
And they just see he was all right. At the end of the game, Macaulay Bond pointed him out. He came over and he gave his shirt to him. And I thought, absolutely, you are a real good human being.
Yeah.
And it made me proud that he's playing for our football club.
Absolutely. I like that. Yeah, I didn't know that happened. That's that's a nice touch.
Wish I got it in the mouth now.
It's not how it's meant to be looked at, Richard, but fair play. Right, we're back tomorrow, 8:30, Talking Towns Extra Time with Mike Brown and George Nunn.
Interesting. Quickly, look, Emerson there. Cookie said he'd never shut up shop. Well, he did yesterday. He bought Burgess on.
Yes, very good point, yeah.
Chris, that is out for you, Cruncher, says Matt Stannard. A huge thank you to Duncan and Brandon for the super chat. A huge thank you for you guys and girls watching. Don't forget to like it, share it to your friends and family, and make a comment.
Don't forget, FIFA 22 still up for grabs. 27 Vic poses. Subscribe, retweet. What's the other one? Follow the Talking Town page on Twitter. I think is it all platforms?
It's all platforms. So if you're on Instagram, for example, you Facebook, just like the post, you follow on Instagram, Bebo, and you subscribe.
MySpace.
Bebo. Fucking hell, how old are you? Christ alive. Next week saying Netlog. Anyway, we are back tomorrow. That is the Cruncher, the Chris Sutton Destroyer. That is Matthew Phillips, Media Mogul. I'm the Gov. This is
7.
Poor old Norwich. They're just, shy. Where's the button?
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better.